Something just broke its strategy. And I don't think most people understand the implications. Strategy just admitted that they may sell Bitcoin. Now, for 5 years, Michael Saylor, he told the world, you never sell your Bitcoin. He built an empire on that conviction, on that identity. 649,000 Bitcoin, the largest corporate treasury in history. And on November 29th, 2025, the CEO of Strategy quietly broke that seal. He actually gave us two triggers that may cause them to sell Bitcoin. Now, number one is that the stock trades below its mNAV. Now, that should be scary because that trigger's already been tripped. It's already happened. And the second trigger is, well, capital markets closing to them. They're not able to raise more money. Well, that's already started as well. BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan, they sold a combined $5.38 billion in Strategy shares. The institutional exit, it's already on its way, people. Open your eyes here. Meanwhile, the obligations, they don't care about narrative. They don't care about your conviction in Bitcoin. Strategy owes $750 to $800 million in preferred dividends every single year. Every year they got to pay that out. They don't have any operations that produce cash flow. And mNAV, it was 2.5 times its holding. In that environment, it's a great time. They could raise money, buy Bitcoin, pay their dividends. Those days are behind us here. Michael Saylor, he preached conviction like scripture, but the current CEO, he's telling us a different tune here. Let's take a look at this. This is serious. Bloomberg reporting, Strategy's dollar reserve plan here fails to calm Bitcoin sale fears. So what they did is they sold stock. They sold $1.4 billion in stock and they put it in cash as a reserve to say, look, we're not going to have to sell Bitcoin. We got cash on the side and we can pay our dividends or we can meet our obligations, no problem. Well, what's the issue with that? They just did sell your Bitcoin, didn't they? You have less Bitcoin per share than you did before because you were diluted. They didn't take that money and buy more Bitcoin for their treasury. They put it in cash. They put it in cash to pay dividends. Now, shares fell as much as 12% as traders panicked over dilution, which happened for good reason. It has happened. It has started to happen. The risk isn't that you lose your Bitcoin, it's that you lose your stock value. That's what is the problem here. You're buying stock, not Bitcoin. And the CEO, again, has said if it drops below mNAV, it makes sense to sell Bitcoin. Well, here we are. We are under mNAV. The cracks in the raise cash, buy Bitcoin pump model, well, they're now fully exposed. As Strategy gets dropped from major indexes, which could happen, billions in passive outflows could follow. The company's updated its guidance now to show from a $7 billion loss to a $9.5 billion gain in operating income because it lives off the price of Bitcoin, which is highly volatile. We understand that. The math is starting to catch up with them and in a big way here. Now, I go on to show this. And this to me is the biggest deal because might crypto come ripping out of here and go on a great run and the day is saved? Absolutely. I, in some ways, expect that. I think that's going to be the outcome. But I said, if Strategy survives this downturn, don't mistake that for stability like Michael Saylor knew all along. It's just dumb luck. And every gambler's luck eventually runs out. He's gambling is what he is doing here. Strategy right now, they're in the most dangerous position they ever have been. Number one, ETFs removed their advantage. It used to be the only way for institutions to get Bitcoin exposure. Now you have ETFs, much better way of investing, safer way of investing in the asset class. mNAV's collapsing, that takes away all their power. Leverage now becomes expensive. Debt rollover is risky. And they have reoccurring liquidity obligations, $700 million annually. That's outrageous for this little tiny software company to meet. You have to be able to meet your obligations, and they can't. This is silliness. Investors have better Bitcoin exposure alternatives now, and software businesses, its business can't save them in a downturn. MicroStrategy is the more risky play than Bitcoin without the upside premium currently. And Strategy was the best way for institutions to get Bitcoin exposure, but now Strategy is the riskiest way for institutions to get Bitcoin exposure. Let that sit in. Again, I'm not saying they ain't going to escape this for now, but this is really a preview into the future. Eventually, you will run into a buzzsaw, and it will last a long time, and they will not survive. It just won't happen. test this theory yourself. Just live off your credit cards. Don't go to work. Just ask for higher credit limits, more credit lines. Eventually, you're going to run out of runway. And that's what they're doing here. We see here, this is absolutely insane. MicroStrategy market cap is now $10 billion less than their Bitcoin holdings. MicroStrategy is down 12% today, 57% since October 6th. Now, this is the crypto industry. It's volatile. We're used to these kind of drops. I'm not so concerned about really the drop 12% today. Like, whoop-de-doo, that's another day in crypto. But it's really the foundation of this is nonsense. Strategy holds right now 650,000 Bitcoins worth $55 billion. In other words, MicroStrategy's market cap is now $10 billion below the value of their Bitcoin. They might say, well, it makes sense. They got some debt. Well, not really, because even if you subtract out their debt, they're actually sitting on $46 billion worth of Bitcoin net basis. So what the market is looking is they're saying, look, you're not even worth your assets after we take out your liabilities because there's so much risk here that this thing's going to crater. And again, I think we may come firing out of here and everyone will cheer and say Michael Saylor knows so much. I don't think so. He's just gambling. There is no off-ramp for him that I can see here. We see this post. Strategy just admitted it could sell Bitcoin. That's such a big pivot. They're not just throwing that out there for no reason. They know it may come down to it and they may have to start selling Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's always said, you don't sell your Bitcoin. You never do. He built an empire off of that. Well, here we are. Really, there's two ways in which they may sell their Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, we see from Jason Calacanis, gets more convoluted by the day. Now they're creating a dollar reserve. So they're holding money in dollars to backstop the payments due from convertible debt. That was backstopped by the Bitcoin in the public entity. So this is just really kind of, crazy town here. And really, Jason tells us there's some, major rules to watch out for. Number one is if it's too good to be true. Can they borrow to infinity? No, we know it can't be. That's too good to be true. That's nonsense. If it can't be explained to a 12-year-old, he really can't. He's just like Bitcoin grows faster than everything else. Okay, fair enough, but you're going to have downturns. You have to be able to meet these debt obligations. Not only those preferred stock payments, yeah, they could skip those, but that's going to hurt them because they won't be able to raise funds as easily. And eventually they do have notes that come due, and it could be problematic. If they attack critics instead of answering questions. They can't answer the question. There are no answers to this kind of thing. It's just a bunch of tomfoolery at the end of the day. Lastly, here we see Adam Livingston. I want to give you the pro side. He says, well, Michael Saylor just broke the brains of critics everywhere who spent 5 years predicting strategy collapse. They built up this reserve, completely destroys the narrative, exposes how unserious these crypto commentators really are. Strategy holds 650,000 Bitcoin, which is huge, and enough cash to run the company for nearly 2 years with zero Bitcoin selling. Again, I'll push back a little bit here and say, well, it's not zero Bitcoin selling. You just sold Bitcoin from the shareholders, right? By diluting them, by selling more stock. It's around about the same kind of deal here. You just didn't, sell the Bitcoin on the market. It comes out the same for the investor. And that's what matters. People get so convoluted. Who cares if to the end of time, if strategy holds 650,000 Bitcoin, if your stock value is diluted to nothing, you're sent straight to hell. What good does that do to you if strategy continues to hold the same amount of Bitcoin? This is just the start of, reality, in my opinion. I think this is a preview. I think he probably escapes now. But what does he do? When the price goes up, when Bitcoin's soaring, the stock's trading at a premium. So he can't sell Bitcoin at that time. He'll wreck investors. And of course, in down times, mNAV breaks down and it trades below its asset values. And we saw the same kind of trap with people that tried to trade at the end of the last bull cycle, Grayscale. Yeah, eventually Grayscale converted and you got that premium, but could you keep it up? Could you hold your position? That created a whole bunch of problems last time around. And I think we're going to run into that at some point in time. If it's now or down the road, if they can kick the can down the road, great. I don't think it's a good look that you're selling shares to sit on cash, because what are you going to do? Are you just going to hold that cash forever? Are you going to invest it when the Bitcoin goes higher? Now you're just buying up your average cost, and then at some point in time, you're going to have to do this whole procedure again. And I don't find it really assuring that they're going to take this 1.4 billion in cash and literally just light it on fire because they took this irresponsible debt and they had to pay it out. There's just nothing good I see here long term. Doesn't mean there can't be a good trade here. It could be. Could be highly lucrative, not one that I'm going to make. I would rather just hold Bitcoin, and if I'm wrong and the crypto market doesn't rebound, well, fine. I can hold my Bitcoin long term. I don't have these issues built in. But I'm sure, if crypto rebounds, this will be a fantastic trade. I'll leave that to you, smart people out there that do those kinds of trades. Let me know what you think down below, though. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution to be televised right here on Jungle Link.